Welcome back to the Sunday Scaries podcast. I'm Christine Barker, your personal mentor and legal lifeline. This podcast is your weekly reset, real talk, practical tools, and the reminder that you can be excellent without running yourself into the ground. So let's take a deep breath. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be, and let's all rise together. Good morning, Council. What I wanted to do today is I wanted to see if we could start our Mondays off a little bit differently. Everyone has them. We've all felt them. It's those, we call them the Sunday Scaries. It's that knot in your stomach. It's the inbox dread. It's the calendar anxiety. It's that super performance hyper awareness that you've already messed up and you haven't even started your day. But I want to reassure you, it's not you. You're just acting human. Everyone goes through this. It's kind of a universal thing. You're not behind. And what I wanted to tackle in this episode is see if we can figure out some tools to start Monday off differently, to start it off steady and not so scrambled. So, first, I wanted to talk about why do Mondays feel like this? Why do Mondays feel like complete and utter dread? Why does Sunday night suck so bad? And no, it's not because, well, it's mostly because the Saints lost again. But in addition to that, Mondays suck because bad things are stronger than good things. There was a study done in the review of general psychology back in 2001. And the study found that the human brains consistently give more weight and more attention and more mental resources to negative experiences than we do to positive ones. And not just slightly more, disproportionately more across multiple domains: emotion, learning, memory, relationships. Negative information has a stronger impact, a longer tail, and a faster activation in our brain. That's because the brain, and this makes sense, the brain evolves to prioritize threats. Way back in the day when we were hunting and gathering, physical, social, emotional stress, we needed to prioritize those stress in order to stay alive. Our bodies are now adapting to what the stresses are in our lives now. And for working professionals like attorneys, Monday morning is a prioritized threat. The brain's first instinct is not, we're going to have a great day. I'm going to tackle all my issues. I've got, I'm going to kick it in that motion for summary judgment. No, what the brain does is it starts prioritizing and looking for what are the dangers. What did I forget to do? Where am I behind? Where is opposing counsel ahead? What am I missing? In plain English, you're not weird. Your brain is not wired for calm. It's wired for caution. It's not wired to praise you. It's wired to protect you. And that actually makes sense. But in our minds, protection often looks like worry, scanning, looking for catastrophes, assuming the worst. I talk about this all the time with one of my partners, and we do this thing where we think that the reason that we're successful is because we've assumed or looked for the worst, because we've worried our way into success. It's not true, but our brains are wired to think that. Our brains are wired to look for danger first. That's why the worst case scenario will pop into your brain before anything else. Research calls this negative biases. Bad is literally stronger than good. Positive thoughts are not automatic. We have to think on purpose if we want our brains to work for us instead of work against us. Another thing that comes up, especially on the weekends and Sunday being the end of it, is social comparison. And why this hits so hard is if you think about it, our guards are down on the weekend. During the week, your brain is busy. It's reading briefs, case laws, at hearings, deadlines, calls. You are doing a lot Monday through Friday. And your emotions aren't so sensible because you're being productive. You're actually getting work done. You're also probably not paying that much attention to social media during the week than when you are on the weekends. You're going to go out to dinner. You're going to meet up with friends. You're going to post on social media. And then you're going to see everyone else's posts on social media. On Saturdays and Sundays, they're the worst. You're at home. Your brain's tired. it's quieter because you're not working right now generally. Although some of us do work on the weekends, and we'll tackle that on another episode. But ironically, it makes our thoughts louder when our world is a little quieter. So that polished Instagram update or that collie's big win, it feels like proof that you're behind, that you're not doing as much as somebody else is. And you're not behind. Your brain is just more vulnerable right now. And also, and we see this all over social media now, where we're talking about the comparison where it's, someone's highlights, you're comparing yourself to somebody's highlights reels. And this internal chaos that we're experiencing, but we're seeing everybody's external curated lives. This is like straight out of that comparison theory. Again, there was another study done. This was done way back in the 1950s, that humans will evaluate themselves by comparing upwards. Where do I stand relative to everyone else? But on social media and workplace group chats, things like that, people are posting their wins. They're posting filtered accomplishments, curated milestones. We're not seeing all of the hard work it took to get to that milestone, but someone's posting about a promotion. They're posting about a trial win. They're posting about, a new, motion for summary judgment that they won. They are perfectly worded announcements, right? You don't see the ugly behind it. You don't see how the sausage is made. And what we're really doing is we're focusing on that. You're comparing your real life to their edited version. And the brain's always going to lose to that comparison. Another thing that happens on the weekends I've noticed, and this is so true for me, is weekend work emails seem to have a special sting to them. When you see your colleagues working on a Saturday or Sunday, when you feel like, oh, well, I've just been screwing around. I went to dinner last night. Maybe I had too much to drink and I'm feeling it Saturday morning. Maybe I took my kids to the park and you're getting your emails coming up on your phone, and somebody, one of your colleagues is at work busting out some research and sending, those god awful, pardon the interruption emails. And you're like, really? You're interrupting my weekend, my time off. And this is the time for you to rest. Now, I'm not saying that we don't have to work weekends. Sometimes we do. But like I said, those weekend work emails seem to hit just a little bit harder. And it's because our brain interprets that as someone else is working harder than I am. I should be doing more. I shouldn't be enjoying the football games. I shouldn't be hitting the farmer's market. I shouldn't be sleeping in. I'm falling behind. I'm the weakest link. None of this is true, but it is your nervous system reacting to a perceived threat. Someone else is better than I am. And then finally, it's algorithms. We all know this. You're on TikTok, you're on social media, you're on any of those Instagrams, and it's the algorithms are designed to follow your interest. But LinkedIn's algorithm, I discovered, is specifically designed to amplify achievement posts. It's technical, not psychological. LinkedIn will push posts that get fast engagement. And what gets fast engagement? Promotions, awards. I'm thrilled to announce I kicked ass and you don't. Trial victories, partnerships announcement, people who published articles, high profile client wins. All of these are coming into your LinkedIn feeds. It's skewed towards achievement. But those achievements aren't happening for everybody every single day. It creates this false belief that everyone is advancing except for me. And it's simply not true. It's just an algorithm. And being a lawyer, it makes comparison even worse. Lawyers are trained. We are trained to evaluate cases, right? We're evaluating facts, rank facts, good facts and bad facts. We're designed to measure success and failures. We're designed to anticipate risks. That's what we're trained to do. We're also trained to scan for the things that we're missing. So career competition and career comparison hits even harder because our brains are already trained to look for, evaluate, rank, measure, anticipate the risk, scan for what we're missing, and decide whether it's a good case or a bad case. And social comparisons do the same thing. Is my career good or bad? Am I a good lawyer or a bad lawyer? Is there another person who's better than I am? It becomes LinkedIn is posting this stuff, and it's not just a post, it's like it's becoming data, it's becoming evidence, and your brain is turning all of that against you. So, like I said, on the weekends, our guards are down. So, when you see your colleagues' perfectly curated post or their email on the weekend showing that they are grinding it out on a Saturday and you're not, your brain is taking that as evidence that you're behind. But you're comparing your full messy human life to someone else's edited highlight reels. And it's not fair and it's not real. The invisible scoreboard that us as lawyers carry is huge. We're constantly comparing ourselves. So, why we talked a little bit about why this is happening. And if you don't, and then we start to like create catastrophes for ourselves. If I don't catch up by 9 a.m. on Monday, I'm already screwed. I'm already behind because I wasn't working all weekend. Everyone else is already better than me. And now, if I don't get through my inbox before noon, I'm screwed. And then you start feeling overly responsible. Now you're responsible for other people's expectations. If a client sends you an email at 8 a.m. saying, hey, can I get an update on that case? You're like, oh shit, why didn't I do that on Friday? I'm already behind because he has to ask for it. It's going to take me all day to get through my inbox, and the work is already piling up. I'm never going to get ahead. The truth is, you are. You are not behind. And I will show you a little 15-minute Sunday night thing that's going to save you hours of stress on Monday morning. I like to call it my 4Ds. And I do this on Sunday night. And it replaces the pressure of figuring out your whole week with something simple and strategic. 4Ds: do, delegate, delay, or delete. This is the mental clutter, the mental decluttering of our lawyer brains that we need to do every Sunday night, and it's going to make your Mondays much more manageable. It takes 15 minutes and it will stop that spiral panicking. So, D number 1, do. What does your brain actually need to do? This isn't a wish list. This isn't an every email is urgent. This is what requires my legal brain, what requires my analysis, what requires my voice. Examples of things like this are going to be calls where you're leading the strategies, reviewing dispositive motions, preparing for a deposition, editing something that can't go out sloppy, time entries that you need to capture your time. We will do an entire podcast on capturing your time. We've got a lot of quick hits and tips for that as well. But your to-do list what I do on Sundays, I dump out the whole week, everything that I think I have to do Monday through Friday this week. And I just brain dump it everything on a piece of paper. Then I break it down by day, and I do that with my calendar. So I look at Monday. What do I got going on Monday? Well, I had a conference call with a client this morning. I just finished a call with an expert. I need to send that expert all of the documents for this new project. We had a motion to continue trial that was denied. So I now need to meet with my team to figure out, moving forward, what that trial preparation is going to look like and evaluate whether we're going to be able to settle that case or not. That's just an example of what I've got on my plate this Monday morning. And I write that all down on a piece of paper. Then what I do, now I feel like the anxiety of what I have to do is done. I know what I need to do. And then I separate it out Monday through Friday. I like to have no more than 3 top priorities per day. These are the things that are non-negotiable. They must be done. Usually these come from my deadlines. So if I've got a motion for summary judgment that is due that day, well, obviously that's a non-negotiable. That's got to be done on Monday. So that's going to go on my top priorities for Monday. If I've got to respond to a deadline to respond to a settlement offer. Well, that's going to go on my to-do deadline for Mondays because I got to respond to it that day. I also like to knock some of those things out as early in the day as I can because then your brain's got wins on its mind. Okay, I already sent the motion for summary judgment to my secretary to run tables and do the proof of service and get it filed. It's now actually sitting on my delegation list now, so I can go back and work on my other to-dos. So that sends me to our second D, delegate. What can someone else move forward? Lawyers chronically underestimate how much can be delegated. Your team cannot support you if you don't hand things off to them. You have a secretary. You probably have a paralegal. You may have a law clerk. You might have a case assistant. If you're in a smaller firm where you don't, some things can be outsourced to experts, to word processing departments. The idea is that we are working smarter, not harder, and we are reserving the things that require your legal brain for you, and then delegating the things that can be handed off. Drafting the first pass of discovery responses. If you're working in a large firm or even a mid-sized firm, you likely have a paralegal or you have a law clerk. I like to ask them to do the first pass of my discovery responses. Go through the documents and take a sample discovery response, something I've done in the past. I like it formatted like this, and have them do the first pass. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be ready to go out, but you just saved yourself hours of that first draft. Now you've got something workable in front of you that you now can edit and improve and supplement with your legal specialty. Pulling case law. Although now with Westlaw and the co-counsel and the AI enhanced tools that they have, research is so easy. I actually just took a course on co-counsel last week, and I am blown away by what it can do and how quickly it can link you to a case with the exact quote. Because I know we're all hearing about the hallucinations on case law that AI is providing, and there's a lot of attorneys getting in deep, deep water for not properly researching, vetting, and shepherdizing their cases. Again, we could do an entire podcast on how to work smart with AI, but there's some tools out there. Other things that you can delegate: organizing exhibits. I have a killer paralegal that I'm working with right now as we're getting ready for trial. And I have delegated to her the exhibits, getting our trial exhibits in order. And she has a system. She has a way that she has put it together, and it's brilliant. I never would have been able to come up with that. I don't work in exhibits day in and day out. She does. So she knows what's going to be streamlined. She's going to know what's going to make it easier. She has little internal labels for me so that it makes it easier to pull up a document from the computer and up onto the screen for the jury to see. All of these things, I mean, I would have been rolling it old school, like taking it out of the binder and putting it on the Elmo and projecting it up there, because as fast as technology is moving, so is the law. It's better for my legal mind to be focused on advancements in the actual law, and it's better for my paralegal to be focused on advancements in document organization, and where she's really going to thrive, because that's her job. Let people do their jobs. You don't have to do every job in the office. Scheduling calls. At first, I thought this wasn't that big of a deal, that I was just like, oh, it's quick. It's easy enough for me to pull up a Teams and send out the link and everything, until I realized that I was sending it to the wrong people, or I had the wrong addresses, or I didn't have, or I was double booking myself. I was doing that a lot. So if I delegate scheduling conference calls and meetings to my secretary, she knows my schedule. She's in charge of my calendar. So if I have her schedule my calls, I'm not going to be double booked. If I make sure that she's the one sending out the deposition notices, she's not going to send a depo notice out for a day that I'm in trial or the day that I'm arguing some dispositive motion. I delegate my calendar to her. And the moment I did that, I freed up so much time. Compiling declarations. I do this for like if I'm doing so let's say I'm doing a motion to compel and I'm writing out the motion to compel. I'm inserting in there where I know I need to have a declaration. So things like on this day I met and conferred with opposing counsel. On this day I sent him an email. On this day he responded and said, he wouldn't stipulate. On this day is when I served the discovery responses. On this day is when they provided responses. Those kinds of things. Their responses were deficient. All of these things are facts that require support. And that support is my declaration. But as I'm drafting the motion, I'm just putting the support in there. See declaration of Christine Barker, paragraph, and then I leave the paragraph blank because I don't know what paragraph it is. Once the motion is done, I then give that to my paralegal, go through the motion and create my declaration. It's very easy for them. They can copy and paste the whole thing, drop it into a declaration, but then I know that it's going to be formatted properly. I know that all of my sites are going to be pulled correctly. I know that it's going to include the, opening paragraph that I'm a partner in this law firm and I've been, representing this client, and it's going to have the, I sign this under penalty of perjury at the bottom. I just shaved off, let's say, 45 minutes of my time. Drafting cover emails. I'll talk a little bit. This one I feel like AI can help with, but you need to be smart about which AI you're using. Our office uses CoCounsel through Westlaw, and then also Copilot through Microsoft. And I think the most recent update, Copilot populates directly into my Outlook. And so when an email comes in, I can just ask Copilot to draft a response. Then I've got the meat of it and I can go in and fix it. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be great. But it gives me a jumping off point. It gives me a starting point. And I will say for me, just getting started is the hardest part, right? So giving me just a little bit of a starting point helps a lot. And for me, it's my ego stepping aside that lets me delegate more. Can I delegate it, or is it actually mine? Delegation is not dumping, it's leadership. And even as a new attorney, as a new associate, you have to step into that leadership role. You are the leader of your cases with your client. They're looking to you for legal advice, and you need to open up your time and your brain power to provide those legal services. And by delegating things that do not require your time, it allows you to do so. The third D, delay. And I kind of actually do this already on Sunday when I'm dumping everything, because when I start separating it out into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm delaying. I can't do everything on Monday. And this is where I get to breathe a little bit again. My brain tries to convince me that everything is urgent. That's a lie. I know it's a lie. And as soon as you say it out loud, it makes sense, but your brain is trying to convince you that everything is urgent, everything requires your time. And a huge part of emotional regulation on Monday is giving yourself permission to sequence things realistically. Delayed items are often tasks that have deadlines later in the week. Like I said, I pull my calendar and my top 3 for each day usually coincides with a deadline for that day. If I don't have any deadlines for that day, then I pull the 3 most important things that I didn't get done earlier in the week, and then that's when they're going to get done. Things that you can delay, non-urgent follow-ups. Sometimes what I'll do is I will save those things for Friday, because I actually I try and schedule my week. One thing I don't do is I try really, really, really hard not to schedule any depositions, mediations, things that I can control, noticed hearings that I'm noticing on Mondays and Fridays. Monday, because I don't like to have a stressful Monday. My little sister tells me all the time, we have no stress Mondays, no stress Mondays. And how she does that, not in a legal profession, because she was smart and didn't go to law school. She went to grad school instead, and is doing amazing and not having, I think the amount of Sunday Scaries that I saddled myself with. But I try really hard not to schedule mediations, depositions, or any noticed motion that I gave notice of. I can't help it if opposing counsel does. If they want to do a Friday afternoon ex party, okay, I got to deal with it. But I'm not going to put myself into that situation. My secretary knows that. So she knows that when she's pulling hearing dates for, a motion to compel or a motion to consolidate, she's going to look for a hearing date on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Long-term planning. Those are things that you can delay. It doesn't have to be done right now. Projects that are waiting on someone else. These I have like in my delegation column, and I have a whole worksheet that you are welcome to if you'd like. Just shoot me an email. I'll send it over to you. But it's my 4Ds, and I have little quadrants. These are the things I'm going to do on Monday, the things that I'm going to do on Tuesday, the rest of the week. This is my delegation. So I keep a running list of what I've delegated because I have to follow up. I can't just say, hey, my paralegal, please prepare the declaration. And then it goes out into the ether. No, it's sitting on my delegation list. And then I'm going back to that list going, hey, Shauna, did you get that declaration done? Can I have it by Thursday so that we can get it filed because the deadline is on Friday? Optional tasks that crowd out essentials. Things like this, I kind of think of these are, you know, I don't know, a seminar. Now, a lot of seminars or webinars now are recorded. So I might have something on Wednesday scheduled for noon, and there's a live seminar going on. But something more important got set that day. I've got, an ex parte got set, or I just got settlement authority from a client, and now I need to make some phone calls, and that's going to take all day going back and forth between my client, the mediator, opposing counsel, and getting a case done. So I'm going to delay jumping on that webinar because it's recorded, and maybe I'll delay it and I'll watch it on Friday. Or maybe I'll watch it on Monday. Moving things to Wednesday is not failure, it's strategy. And then finally, and this is the hardest one for lawyers, I swear, delete what doesn't deserve space in your brain. And deleting stuff off of your to-do list is a huge power move, and it's hard to do. I still struggle with it because I want to do it all. But deleting is setting boundaries. Deleting is a version of you who says, not everything gets to come into my week. Deleting things, emotional clutter. Me worrying about what opposing counsel thinks about me is emotional clutter that needs to be deleted. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. It prevents me from doing the things that I actually need to do. Tasks that you're doing out of guilt. Saying yes to cases as an associate, saying yes to cases that you do not have time for is something that you should learn to say no to. I do this with my team, and not every partner does, but I will ask who has time for a new case. Not every partner will do that. And you need to know what you have mental and physical and emotional resources for and what you don't. Outdated to-do lists. I cannot tell you how many to-do lists I have uncovered in old computer bags, old purses, because I change purses often. I'm a woman. I mean, come on. And I'll find to-do lists tucked away everywhere, Post-it notes that have like 6 like cryptic words on it. But you know what? The moment I saw it, I remembered what it meant. Throw out those old to-do lists. And what's funny, the things that didn't get done on those lists, I noticed were things that should have been deleted in the moment. Meetings that you don't have to attend. Now, I'm not saying that you should skip meetings, but you should attend the meetings that require you to be there and don't go to the meetings that do not. I think it was Elon Musk. He was on some podcast recently where he was talking about how he, if he has people, I think it was I don't know if it was SpaceX or Tesla, one of his companies, but he said people were allowed to walk out of meetings if they did not think that they were getting anything out of the meeting or contributing anything to the meeting. So if you're going to go to a meeting, participate in it. If you're not, don't go. And I mean, that may reflect poorly on you at an end of the year review or something, or a raise or a bonus. But if you don't need to be in the meeting, don't go to the meeting. Don't go out of obligation. If you go to the meeting, participate in the meeting. I cannot tell you how many times I have people come to my calendar meetings who are not participating in the meeting. It's infuriating. If you go to a meeting, participate in the meeting. It'll go a lot faster too. If everybody is on the same page and everyone is participating and not multitasking, and I know we all do it, I do it too, but try your best when you are in a meeting to focus just on that meeting. For example, this podcast right now, I told myself today I was hitting record at noon today to record this. I turned off my phone. It's sitting right here because it's a prop right now. But I turned it off because I wanted to give all of my time, effort, and attention and focus to you and to this podcast because it's important. Emails that don't need to be responded to, or emails that don't need to be responded by you. I do this a lot now. A lot of my team members like to copy me on emails, and that's nice. I appreciate being kept in the loop, but I will tell you, I don't need to be copied on, and surely you don't either. People scheduling a meeting that's not going to include me. If I don't need to attend the meeting, I certainly don't need to read emails about scheduling that meeting. And then work that could easily be replaced with a sentence or two email that clarifies expectations. What I mean by that is if I've asked somebody to do something and clearly they didn't understand the expectation or they didn't understand the project and they're asking a ton of questions. Sometimes what I would do is I'd be like, I'll just do it myself, right? And then I'll go look it up. And then sometimes if I'm being really petty, then I copy and paste into the email. Here, this is what I meant. That's not doing anyone on my team any good. It's not doing me any good. It's not doing my clients any good. And it's not advancing my case. What would actually be better is if I took two minutes to send a clarifying email of what I expected or where they could go to find it, what I would do. Hey, and I do a lot of that now. Well, what I would do is I would go to Westlaw and I would research this. I would look this up. Delegation is not being irresponsible. It's protecting your mental bandwidth. And the same thing goes with deleting things. If it does not require your mental bandwidth, do yourself a favor and just hit delete. These 4Ds really give you back control. When you're sorting through Monday's to-dos, and then when you're sorting through Mondays, your do, delegate, delay, and delete, you stop reacting and you start leading. And from that place, Monday doesn't own you, you own your Mondays. And I kind of wanted to end with a little bit of giving yourself a permission slip. It's the purpose of this is kind of to deactivate that guilt, those unrealistic expectations, and the need that you need to earn something to be enough. And you can give some of the permission slips I give to myself are to start small. This podcast, for example, I've been looking to relaunch this podcast for a while now. And I told myself, we're going to start small. We're going to do one episode, and it's going to be on the thing that you are most passionate about. And that is this. That is that Sunday Scary, these 15 minutes on Sunday evening, just to dump down all of your thoughts, put it into something usable, and take control of your week. Giving yourself permission that you don't need to fix everything every day. Today, I don't have to fix everything. I can fix something on Wednesday. Something else can wait until Thursday. Permission to say no or to renegotiate a deadline. Ask for the extension. I mean, I ask for extensions when I need them. We are all busy. And again, I'll talk about this in another episode, but maintaining those personal relationships with opposing counsel is so important for this very reason. So that when you are bogged down, when you need to ask for an extension, when you need a professional courtesy, you can renegotiate that deadline. You can renegotiate that extension. And then that's giving yourself permission to do something else, something that does require your time and attention that day. Permission to take breaks, stepping away from your computer. Those weekend emails are the ones that get me all of the time. Those are the ones that stress me out the most. But giving myself permission to take a break on the weekends, to give myself permission to reset and view those as opportunities for a break and not failures. And then obviously giving yourself permission to be human. It's the practice of law. We are not machines. We are human, and we are doing the best that we can with the legal knowledge that we know, with the facts and circumstances that are in front of us. So I kind of just want to close this out with one thing that I do like to do is, in addition to giving myself these permissions, I also like to create a little Monday flow for myself. And it's tying in my daily practice of mental clarity and what keeps me grounded and focused into my workday. We're, like I said before, we're not machines. We're humans. And this is our life. We don't check in as lawyers at 8:30 when court call starts and check out at 5:30 when we close our laptop. We are ourselves. We're human. I'm Christine at 6 in the morning, the same as 11 a.m., the same at 3 in the afternoon. And I really wanted to create things that incorporated myself and my lifestyle into how I work. So for things like on Mondays, I physical, like working out, is important to me. I do it here at my house. I don't have time to go to a gym. That's not my jam. So I have a little Pilates mat, and Mondays I know I'm hitting that mat at 7 a.m. As I get down there, it might be yoga, it might be stretch, it might be something, but that's my ritual. I also like to have music playing in the background when I'm working. Nothing that is words or things like that. I like instrumental stuff, just because I'd focus on the song and then I'd start singing, and then I wouldn't get anything done. And then also taking breaks throughout the day. I'll go outside. I work a lot from home. I go into the office 1 to 3 days a week. The rest of the time I'm at home. So getting up from my computer, going for a walk, just stepping outside, even just going to get the mail, are the little things that kind of help to kind of flow myself into my work routine. So I really hope that you enjoyed this podcast. I just want to remind you, you are not behind. You are building a career. Mondays do not define you. Those knots in your stomach on Sunday nights, those Sunday scaries, do not define you. You get to take control of your life. You get to take control of your to-dos. And I invite you to share some of your anchors, share some of your permission slips. Come find me over on Instagram. Tell me what you do to help anchor your life, what permission slips you've given yourself. And yeah. So thanks for sharing this time with me. Let's keep rising together. We'll see you soon. Thanks for spending your Sunday with me. If today's episode helped you breathe a little bit easier, share it with another woman who needs to feel and be reminded that she's not alone. For more support, mentorship, and the tools to help build a career with confidence and harmony, come connect with us at All Rise Mentors. Take care of yourself this week, Council. Let's keep rising together.